Okay, I think we are live. Woohoo! We are in the Financial FixHER community, and I am with my girl, my BFF. So I'm just going to give it a quick second. We're going to see how this goes because I don't usually go live very late in the afternoon. It's late in the afternoon over on the East Coast. It's like 4 p.m. here. So, and that's like midnight for me, because I'm like. When it comes to my business. So everything, all my creativity usually happens in the morning. But anyways, no, I'm super excited to be coming at you live again today. Welcome to the Financial FixHER community. And if you're watching from YouTube, subscribe. If you are watching from the business page, the Financial FixHER business page, please go to the top little 3 dots up at the top right-hand corner and follow, right? And also you can set your notifications to turn them on, or maybe if you don't want to watch me live, you can turn them off. It's up to you. But if you're not doing that, if you're not kind of like doing those things, doing all the things so that you can, catch the notifications, you're just not going to get notified because that's kind of how things are working these days on this platform. But anyways, and also if you're listening from the podcast, please subscribe to the podcast. Follow me on Spotify. You can subscribe to iTunes, all the things. So, and if you are listening, if you're here on live, please hashtag live. I want to see who's out there. Yay, there's some people coming in. Welcome, and hashtag replay if you're catching this on the replay. So anyways, I'm going to introduce myself really quick. So now that I've gone through all the, CTAs, right? So I'm Amanda Delaney. I'm the Financial FixHER. And basically what I do is I help many women and some really sharp men become the boss of their money so that they don't get bossed around by people, places, and things, other entities, and no control outside of their own, right? They can live their life with options. So that is what I do. That's what I'm here for. That is my mission. I am on purpose when it comes to that. So, and I am here with my very good friend, JoAnne, and she is here with me in the Financial FixHER Coaches Corner. She's been with me for a while. We've been working together for forever now. So we did a solid program together and she just kind of stuck with me. Now she's a team member. So thank you so much for being here, JoAnne. And if you could just tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Who is JoAnne? How does she serve her people at home and in business?
Okay, well, thank you very much. It's funny because I'm actually at the meeting place where we first met. So I was at the library myself searching for help with my own finances. I had plenty of money, but I didn't know what to do with it. And so I was at the library looking for the book Rich Bitch, and Amanda DM'd me literally while I was at the library. So I'm a manifesting coach for small businesses, and I help you cure your self-doubt and fear to actually launch and get out there with the principles of manifesting and belief and the principles of business. So I'm like combining the two, making yourself a manifesting ninja, as Amanda says, in your life and in your business. So it's really exciting stuff. Those are the kinds of things that can happen to you. Life doesn't have to be so hard. You can literally get DM'd in the library while you're looking for a book. So you don't have to do it all yourself.
I feel like our connection story really is super by design. Like it was just like all the things, like the universe really responded, I believe, for both of us, because throughout our work together, you've also coached me, like there's been so many times where we've been working together, and of course, like we're working with the money stuff, but like, we get in our heads. We're both entrepreneurs, so that is really hard. We're on the roller coaster all the time. And we just have those moments where we're just like, is what I'm doing working? Is this the right thing? I don't know. And then what you helped me do a lot, and I wasn't ready to get into the manifesting stuff, but I am, because it comes so naturally. So you really helped me to allow. And I feel like when you were in your process of, getting right with your finances, and you were like doing, the work that we were working on, it really helped you. And I saw this and I learned from it, to just allow and to receive. And maybe you can like kind of elaborate a little bit on that, or like give us some backstory a little bit on how that went for you.
Yeah, this is a crazy story. So, actually, because of the length of our relationship, I've been able to collect a lot of data, and I'm really falling in love with data in a way that I never have before, because I'm such a creative person. And I'm like, oh, like numbers, and you want me to write stuff down, and I don't like doing that, or whatever. But so, because we worked together so long, I've collected some data on manifesting money. And what I realized was, before I met Amanda, I had plenty of money, but I felt really unstable about where my money was going. I didn't know where to put it, where to spend it. I felt like I was spending it wrong all the time, unsure when I swiped that card. So then I matched up with Amanda. She met me where I was, never judged me, never made me feel wrong ever, which again is like the state of allowing, you're feeling confident, like you're okay. So she gave me the okay that I'm doing okay. And then we started tracking, and we started budgeting, and we started making a plan for paying off my debt. And what I realized was that when I actually physically went to go swipe the card at the grocery store, at Walmart, like it was like, oh my God, I planned for this. And I didn't feel that guilt and shame and horror of like, I don't know if I have enough money. Like, and I don't know if I'm spending this right. It was like, nope, Amanda said, we're able to spend this money. We tracked it already. So you already spend this money every month. So you're good. So what that internal peace gave me was the ability for myself to allow as well. And I was looking over the numbers in our tracking system, and the income for January and February were both over $9,000 last January and February, and the income for February was $20,000.
Amazing.
And the money just came from everywhere. Like I had a real estate listing that was listed for 7 years. Like my mom gave me money, the stimulus checks. I have a good paying career. Child support all of a sudden flew in. Like all of a sudden I just had like money after money after money after money. I remember Amanda being like, "You're like rich, man. Like what the heck happened to you?"
You turned into a rich bitch.
I turned into a rich bitch, just like I wanted to be, remember? So it was so exciting. And then it was crazy. So then now I had all this extra money, and we were still paying off debt and doing that. But I had made a decision later last year, like, I am sick of being in the learning cycle, and I am ready to finally own and launch my coaching business. So it took money out of like my retirement, and I put it in this other place. And then I signed up for all these coaching programs, and all of a sudden, like my instability started coming again. Like, so I wasn't tracking. I was afraid of what I was spending. I was falling into the same patterns as like what before I met Amanda, And what happened was this January and February, I was actually going like negative in my bank account because I had not tracked my numbers. I had not made myself feel secure. And like it was like the universe was attacking me. Like every money that was supposed to come in was not coming in. And I literally have the data like now to back it up and be like, oh, so when I feel really unstable about my money, the universe literally is like withholding money from me. Like coaches that were supposed to pay me, this like crypto I was supposed to get paid out, like all of my backup plans. I had all these backup plans set up, and they all failed. Why? Because I was feeling unstable about my money versus last year when I felt so stable and in control of my money. So I really had to ask myself and look at myself in the mirror and be like, what is the difference, JoAnne? Like, what is going on to where last year you manifested $40,000 like in 2-3 months or whatever, and then this month you're like going negative? It's like, what changed? My security changed. That's what changed.
Yeah.
And so I literally, like a couple of weeks ago, got back on every dollar. I was like, forget this. I'm freaking tracking. Damn it, I'm going to do it. Like, I need to feel secure about my money. And this is a very important issue. And if you guys take nothing else than my story of today of feeling unstable or feeling secure, I mean, this to me, Amanda's program, and she doesn't even know how powerful of a manifesting tool it is. It's honestly like so powerful. And she's converted me to a believer of tracking data. Like, it's a belief builder. That's what it does. Right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, mic drop. So it is really, I can see all the little signs of the things that you're, that's happened throughout the process. So like the insecurity comes from a feeling of uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
And that uncertainty is not necessarily that you're not having those, manifesting conversations or good affirmations and things like that. But oftentimes, like, we're not aligning our thoughts with our words, right?
Yes.
And that's what manifesting is all about, is actually aligning our thoughts with our words. And I think where your struggle was, and you've already said this, but I'm going to kind of like say it in my own, like, let my brain operate. So the struggle was where you didn't have the certainty. There was lack of information. So by you getting back on the tracking system and just, you knew what to do.
Yeah.
So you just easily just got back on track.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how, when I remember when you filled out the form, because we were on our mastermind a couple weeks ago or last week or something. And I was just like, ooh, you get it, girl. You're like, you're getting your money tracked. And like, like I could hear it in your, I couldn't hear it in your voice because you wrote it down, but I could tell by the way you wrote it, that you were like, yes, I'm all in. And I know where like I was missing the boat. And, and now you've got that sense of control, which is, in turn a sense of security. And it's, you can do so much more with that, because it's like, okay, well, I know where I stand, and I can have those conversations with myself. I can talk positive talk, and, know that I'm like doing the things that positive talk is aligned with.
And that's making me feel secure. This is a tool that makes me believe that the money's going to be there. That's the only difference. It's like, I believe the money's going to be there. And because I've tracked it and I know my income and I know it's steady and it's proven. And what's really interesting too is that, I can make more educated decisions now all of the time, because it's like, okay, well, this is how much money I need. This is how much money I need extra. This is what I need for this. This is what I need for that. I can more, confidently hire coaches, fire coaches, like, save for vacations or what have you. And I tell you what, as soon as I started tracking, again, I got the go ahead for an affiliate payment, and like money started shifting again. And so, it's just an inner confidence that this program really develops. And it takes us sometimes a lot of trial and error to like, it's like anything, like, you fall off the wagon basically, and you're like, well, I fell off that wagon. And then, but it was just so vivid to me. I couldn't excuse my way out of it. I was like, the reason you don't feel insecure is because you're not tracking. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah. You just said something that really hit me. So here we are again, where you've gotten on track with something, and you've reestablished a habit, right? And, fixed a pattern a little bit, and money showing up.
Yeah.
So when we first met, I remember vividly saying at some point, like, we were having one of our first conversations, and I was like, I can tell you, and I know it's difficult to believe now, right? But like, I can tell you that when you get a control on this, when you get a handle on this thing, money's going to show up.
Yep.
And it's going to be weird.
Yep.
And I know it's weird coming out of my mouth. I remember, like I said, it's easy for me to say, but it sounds really weird coming out of my mouth, but money is going to flow to you, and it always does. And I mean, it just, I get those stories all the time where it's just like, oh my gosh, like I'm practicing. And because I'm practicing this thing, I'm like, yes, I am saving money by default, because I'm tracking and I'm paying attention, and I'm doing mindful spending, and I'm like, doing the things, but, which is great, but somehow checks show up in the mail.
It's because of security. It's because of law of attraction. You can count on law of attraction. Like, there are so many things that are unfair in this world, and there are so many things, like I've lived through so many instabilities, so much trauma myself, and I've been asking for that fairness like for my whole life, like God, I just like, it didn't matter how good of a person I was, it didn't matter how nicely I talked to people, it didn't matter, like whatever I did, I was still getting like attacked and feeling unstable somehow. And through practicing manifestation, learning about law of attraction, learning about my emotions and how they affect the outcome, I was able to really sell myself on the fact that law of attraction is one of the only fair things in the universe. And if you're feeling unstable, you will attract instability. And if you're feeling stable, you'll attract more stability. And that's why, again, this Amanda's program and merging it with manifesting, they are again like a match made in heaven, because this data builds belief, it backs you up, it gives you that confidence, and like the more confidence you have, the more confidence that comes, and so it's like, yeah, the checks just show up and you're like, yeah.
So 100%. So you're talking about data, which I'm not a data person either. Like yeah, it's not my jam, but it turned out to be my jam for what I do now, but so weird. But I have found that there was so much comfort in the data for me.
Yep.
Once I realized its importance.
Yep.
And once I actually understood it,
yep.
Because I think that we're left confused sometimes and it seems complex.
Yes.
And we need more clarity and we need a clear vision. And sometimes we're like, kind of hiding from just even learning the tool or learning the information. So it scares us, right? But once we do and we understand it, then we can see our progress.
Yep.
So, and the progress that you've been able to experience is what has actually given you that sense of security and that confidence.
Yep.
So the more we see progress in the things that we're doing, the more confident we're going to be and the more courageous acts we're going to be taking, steps.
It's amazing how much more powerful you feel within yourself and in your life when you know what's going on with your money, because we use money every single day. It's like something you cannot get away from. And like, there's so much to understand. Like, oh my God, you have your home loan, your car loan, and your credit cards, and does your credit score matter? And you should be saving for retirement and blah, 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 blah. It's like, blah, all the time. But when you just like say, stop it just for 1 second. Let's, narrow down on what your goal is. And for me, it was paying off debt at the time. And it's going to be again, but so it was like, let's just laser focus on one thing right now. We're going to get you stable with a savings account and start paying off debt. And I think you calculated it. We paid $17,000 in debt off.
Yeah. I included your tax bill because that was a big fatty, and I felt like that needed attention.
Yeah.
So yeah,
$17,000, you guys. This girl, single mother, survivor of domestic violence, owns her own home, paid off $17,000 worth of debt in less than 6 months.
Big deal.
What?
Big deal. Absolutely. Yes.
Do you know how empowering that is to be able to stand and be like, I don't need a man. I don't need, somebody else. I don't need all of these things. Like, I have my own home. I have my own car. I have my own finances. I can buy my own drinks, just like the song says, it's just like, it's so empowering to get your finances in order and stand strong and know who you are, and stop guessing and stop letting other people give you feedback on who they think you are. You decide who you are. And these tools are life-changing.
Yeah. No, and you said something else, like we need to really be careful who we listen to, like we really need to be careful sometimes about what's coming in to our brains, like what we're exposing ourselves to and what information we're exposing ourselves to, because anytime, I feel like you may have wrote this the other day, somebody did, one of my entrepreneur besties, who knows, said something like, a confused mind did you say that?
Yeah. A confused mind always says no.
100, 100, 100. Like, not even funny. It was you that said it. See, I even remember that.
Yeah, you're channeling
that so much. Like, And I remembered that. But it's just crazy. Like I can't sell you confusion.
Nope.
If you're confused in any way about how something's going to work, it's not going to happen. And you're
Nope.
not going to you're not going to actually take the steps.
Nope.
So I have to, it's for lack of a better term, dumb it down, right? Like, I mean, and I wrote
Simplify.
something
Simplify.
simplify. The reason I say that is because I wrote something the other day, and I'm not very smart, and that sounds bad coming out of my mouth, but I was in SLD, and standardized tests don't do well, like I'm not, you know what I mean?
That the system
I'm
labeled
not,
you
yes.
made you feel that you're not smart, but it's
So
not
I
that you're
needed,
not smart.
exactly, I needed steps. I needed
Yeah.
something simplified that my brain could understand. And I say I'm not very smart. I am very smart, but like in a different way. The way that I learn is not the gifted way.
It's not the
Okay?
standardized way. It's not the way that
Right.
they test for. Too
Right.
bad.
I wasn't gifted with that type of brain where I could crack a book and get an A. Wasn't me, So and I didn't have the math brain and things like that, but I just for some reason could figure out finances
Yeah.
in my degree. But then when it came to my own money, that was the problem, right?
Yeah.
And that was because I was confused
Yep.
about my money.
Just like
And
me. We
just
don't
what
know
we
what
were
to do
taught.
with money. Yeah.
Yeah. When you don't know, you don't know. So once I just saw it very, in tiny little things, like just teeny tiny little actions that I could take. I'm like, okay, step,
Okay.
step,
Step.
that's it,
Baby
and then like
steps.
nothing else. Right.
Baby steps. I was actually talking to my friend about this because they started their own small business in this area. And basically, I've decided everything is sales. So if you can learn sales, you're going to be set free for the rest of your life because you're constantly needing to build belief, and that's what sales is building belief. Okay, so sales, building belief, simultaneous. Okay, so I was trying to sell her on using the app because for QuickBooks, because she's manually entering all these bills, and I've done it personally for a property maintenance company, and I'm trying to show her keystrokes to help take time off of her billing and all this stuff. And my friend, who's also a small business owner, was like, just use the QuickBooks app. You can literally bill it. You can bill it right now. Like you just go into the house, put the thing, and it's done. And so I was having to sell her on the app, and you have to really you have to find little ways of convincing them, for one, that it's right for them. And even though in your brain, I'm like, oh my God, just do this already. This is the solution for you. If they don't believe it, they're never going to do it.
Yep.
And so that's what I remember you telling me in the beginning, small actionable steps, right? Just very tiny, track one thing, track one thing, track one thing. Because if you feel like you have to figure out your whole financial solution, you're not going to track one thing. But if you just know you need to track one thing, then one thing becomes the next thing, and then the next thing, and then all of a sudden the clarity is built, the confidence is built, and you're starting to actually make change. And that's what we discussed on the phone was I was like, just do one account this week. Yeah. Download the app and just have them do one account. You don't have to do 90, do one. And then the next day, do another one. And have them see how it works. You don't have to switch everything today, just do one step. And and then all of a sudden the wheels start turning I bet we could do just one account. I bet we could do just one account and log it this way and see if it works.
Yeah. And that's the same way as looking at something like a big mountain of debt. It's a real mountain.
It's a mountain.
And it's not possible to climb, right? So, but if I say, okay, you're looking at, say like I was $100,000 in debt easily.
Wow.
But my smallest debt was 1,500, right?
Yeah.
So I knew that I could focus on my smallest debt, and I could put an extra $100 towards that in this was years ago, but during 1 month, for example. And so you take those big goals and then you just chunk it down into teeny tiny things. You know that you're targeted towards that big goal, but you're really targeting that little step.
Yep.
So, and yep. It's like that, I think, with anything. But that's what keeps it, the awareness piece is what we need, like we
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
aware
Oh,
of
yeah.
what's going on.
Yeah, the awareness, like they always say, like admitting the problem is the first step. It's like you can admit there's a problem. Just saying, like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing with my finances. We're all so scared of getting in trouble and being wrong. It's really hard to just be vulnerable and say, I don't know what the hell I'm doing with my money,
Yeah.
and like, but just saying it and then having Amanda show up and be like, guess what? I didn't know what the hell I was doing either, but I figured it out. And so now I can help you. It's like, it's really not a big deal. And like, so you take the first step and you make one simple change. And before you know it, you're manifesting 9,000 and 9,000, 20,000. And look at where you're at. Amanda paid off $100,000 worth of debt. Is it 100% off?
Oh yeah. No, actually, so it was 100,000 when I first started, and I paid off like 30,000, and then I got together with my husband, and then we like had, a wedding, renovating a home, all this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, all this stuff. So like life happened and stuff, but then through that we got together, and then by the time I'd say we got together and put our budgets together after we got married, then it was probably a total of 250,000 over time. Like it was crazy. And I'm including some of the stuff that we cash flowed. So if you want to look at what the total debt was, it's probably about 150 because we after all the interest.
Yep.
Right. So,
I 100% believe it.
Yeah, because like it was 100K of only mine, like before I even got together with him. And then, over 4 years from that point, imagine how much interest accrued on, you know what I mean? Like,
Wow, of course.
And capitalized interest, it was crazy. Like, cause my student loans were, had capitalized interest, and just like, it was insane amount of money.
Insane.
So,
that's a huge accomplishment. And, and I can say the same thing. Like I've been adding up like all the money I've invested in my own self-learning. And I personally invested like $50,000 into my own self-learning. It's like, like so many people think like we have no money. You have money. You have some money. It's just where you're putting your money. It's like I invested in my education. You invested in your education. And then now we had to figure out how we're going to like overcome that huge amount, but to quit always, thinking like you're behind, you have no money, you're not valuable. I mean, you had a really great career before you even started becoming a coach, and you were able to pay off that debt before you even took the leap into coaching. So like these are like huge accomplishments. And I just think, like we said before, admitting that we don't know is like the first step.
Yeah. And I think, you said something that really resonates with me too, is like, I'm sure this happens to you where someone that you're selling your service to will say, well, I can't afford that right now.
Yeah.
And the reality of it is that maybe they're not picking that thing to spend their money on.
Yeah.
And that's what we're really doing, is prioritizing our spending together. Right. So like, that's what we're doing together in the Financial FixHER program is prioritizing spending. So, like for, and I'll talk about my masterclass in a few minutes, but like it's $47. For return on ROI on $47, like let's several hundred, it's like several hundred X or something, right? Because, like this program actually makes you become a millionaire. Like you're going to become a millionaire babe, in progress. Right.
Yeah.
So
in progress.
Like, so it's really about like what you either make a choice to spend money on, this or that. It's not really like, I mean, yeah, you might not be able to afford something, but like,
but do you even know? Yeah. Do you know? Are you making an educated decision, or are you making an emotional decision?
Yes.
Because our emotions run us all day long. So somebody comes at you and says, this program's whatever, $5,000, and your heart drops. You're like, I don't have $5,000. You don't have $5,000 just sitting in the bank maybe, but like, then, you have to like consider the educated decision of like, what is the return on this investment? It's not just that you're throwing money down the drain and then your commitment level to making it. But if you apply yourself for $47 to Amanda's program, it's no brainer. Mine's $37 for my DIY affirmations bootcamp, and that people are getting amazing results. It's like, these life-changing tools like can be right in front of you for the low price of.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's amazing. So, it's definitely really about taking the emotions out of it and actually taking a look at the numbers. So what I found so many times when I
Yeah.
first start working with someone is that they'll say like, I don't make enough money or I don't have enough income. And that may be true. That oftentimes is true in some way. But let's really see what's coming in and going out first before we say, I don't make enough money, because
Yes.
it's not fair. It's
Yeah.
not fair to you, and it's not fair to your income even to say that it's not enough when you haven't been budgeting or you
Yeah.
haven't been tracking your spending.
Yeah.
It's really unfair to say that the income level is subpar or it's
Yeah.
not enough until you see what your behavior really has been.
Yes, and that is exactly what you do to me. And the perspective shift, like your knowledge combined with it's like, that's why we need coaches, and coaches need coaches because we can't see our own blind spots,
Mm-hmm.
and like you've dedicated your life to understanding this stuff and people's struggles. And so you have a more educated opinion about the income and the spending behavior and whatnot than the person themselves, because they've just been judging themselves the whole entire time. And so you are like the little savior, the little angel that comes and says, wait a minute, like stop beating yourself up.
Yeah.
You really are in a lot better position than you think that you are. And like all we have to do is take these tiny, tiny steps. And like before you know it, you're going to be sitting like me with like $100,000, $150,000 in debt behind you. Like, that's what Amanda's like major, what her educated, definitive mind and perspective will do to your finances and your budget and your life. It's incredible. It
And I
is.
think I think what really helps too is like it's like having the academy, the Financial FixHER Academy too, is like you get to see other people's stories and see that like, and we're all aligned, right? We're all aligned going in the same direction, which is financial independence is where we're taking that journey to.
Yeah.
And and so I might not be in the trenches anymore as far as like
Yep.
doing that big goal of paying down big debt. I'm in the trenches of trying to make passive income.
Yeah.
However, which is a huge goal too.
Yeah.
However, like other women are, especially are going for it.
Yep.
And they have their stories in the now and in the current. And that's extremely helpful to like, because I have my past stories, and like it helps me to share others' stories that like where they're like their current stories,
Oh, yeah.
something that's happening right now and it's more acute.
And you're just empowering people time after time after time. It really doesn't matter where you are in your journey. If you've already paid off 100,000 or you've only paid off $5,000 worth of debt, it's like how you're viewing your situation. And like, are you in an empowered place in your story, or are you in an unpowered place in your story? And that's really what it's like. It doesn't matter if you're trying to make passive income, you still have the same internal struggle. Like, are you in an empowered position to make passive income, or are you in an under empowered place to make passive income? It's the emotional journeys that we have to take constantly. And that's what the data does. And it helps us back up that emotional story that like we're doing good and we're doing right and we're better off than we think we are and all is well here. So that's really how you've impacted my life. I know you've impacted tons of women, and I have the same goal of empowering women to make the stand, and speak up for themselves and show themselves how smart they are, show themselves what they're really working with, because we have not been sort of celebrated throughout the years for our minds in many, many, many ways. We're celebrated for our ability to birth and give children and somehow keep houses clean. And we have all these ridiculous like responsibilities put on us all the time that have nothing to do with our brains, for gosh sake. And like, we're all really freaking smart. And I'm like so sick of just women just feeling constantly like, oh, like I'm no good. I just, my husband makes all the money. My husband's so smart. My husband this, or, the guy's this, the guy's that. Forget it. You're freaking so smart too. Stop it.
Yeah,
So,
we definitely have so much more to offer than what it may appear, right?
yes.
So if you just ask,
Yeah. Right.
and oftentimes I mean, I'm the mechanic in my house, so you never, yeah, you never know, you never know.
That's so funny. I can be the
Yeah.
maintenance person at the motel too. I'm like, all right, let's get in there. Okay,
Yeah.
let's see
I
what's
have to
going
say
on.
though, my husband has come a long way. I'm really proud of him. He died. I'm less of the mechanic than I used to
Oh,
be, but
that's
there's things that
beautiful.
he'll call me for that I'm just like, bruh, you could have done that, like really. So the things that are like surprising, like, and like, it'll just be something weird and I'll have to like take it apart and look at it. And then I'll literally go like click, click and fix it literally. And he's just like, how did you do that? And I'm just like,
Do you
very
know why?
carefully.
Because you're a problem solver. And
Yeah.
then that's all you care about is solving this problem. And you have such a smart brain, actually, that you can take anything and be like, okay, what is this supposed to do? And what is it not doing? Okay. And let's diagnose this. That's all you're doing. You're
Yeah.
diagnosing it. And that's how my brain works as well. What's happening and what's not working? What needs to happen in order for this to work? Okay. Ding, 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 ding. And if
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know, I get the answers from somebody who has the capacity to tell me.
Yeah. Oftentimes YouTube, but
Oftentimes,
um,
or
yeah,
people
YouTube.
just showing up in your life. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, and some people get, I'd say my husband might be a little bit like this, but frustrated before giving it a
Yeah.
chance, giving it a chance to like, and this is, I mean, so many of us are like this, but just like, and with certain things, it can be, I mean, I get frustrated before I give stuff a chance too, but it just really depends on what it is. But, when it comes to your money or with having positive thoughts or, feeling discouraged, um, I think we have those frustrations based on anxieties of things that haven't even happened yet.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it's like we're worrying about something breaking or about something not working or not functioning the way we want it to. And I don't know what it is, but without seeing it through or
Yep.
just letting it kind of work itself out.
Yeah.
And before you know it, like whatever we thought was going to be wrong turns out to be just fine.
Yeah.
You just kind of have to like let it be. And I think that's what you've helped with so much is like just letting things lie.
Yep.
Because sometimes we just have to do that. And
Yep.
like then it's going to just start to flow in.
It'll start
So,
working itself out. And it really
yeah,
will. Like we're in such a now, I need it now environment.
impatient.
Really this is a magical universe. And that's like, there's so much magic happening every day, just like how Amanda and I met DMing in the library, like what in the what? Like literally, JoAnne, you're going to look for a book and this girl financial coach DMs you. Like how much does the universe love you, man? They know exactly where you're going, exactly what you're needing help with, and who to do the job, in fact, as well. Like you don't like you can rely on the universe for so much more than you're currently relying on the universe for. But
I need to go check our DMs and see what it was that I said. But I think I think I just basically told you, I was like, well, the stars aligned, like
it was literally,
yeah.
I was literally like,
Can you see me?
yeah, like I was literally Googling in the library where a rich bitch was. Like, what? You're DMing? Like, who is this lady? Yes, I need your help. Oh my God. I'm just so yeah, like it can be that easy, guys.
So I love it so much. It's one of my
Guys wanna have
favorites.
it be that
Oh my
easy.
gosh.
And then you fall in love and then you love each other and help each other along the way. Like these coaching relationships become so personal and so empowering, and I find myself just as a unit, like so many women are rising and we're all helping each other right now. So
Yes,
don't
we
miss the
are.
boat, guys. Like don't let yourself be drowning. Don't allow yourself to have that happen because you're feeling insecure. Like I'm going to step out and say, I'm flawed. My finances suck. Okay. But I'm going to get help. So I'm good. So don't let yourselves just, sink. Swim, and Amanda will come pick you up on her cruise ship. And then she'll be like, come this way. I will show you where the buffet is.
Here's the life raft. Let's go.
Yeah, here's the life raft. Yeah. Exactly.
Awesome. So tell the audience how they can connect with you, because I would really love for you to be able to support my audience too.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm so excited because one of your audience members has had me join as a guest expert for podcasters. So that was so exciting. I'm doing that at the end of April. But the Manifesting Movement on Facebook or JoAnne Johnson 1111. You can find me on Facebook, and I would love for you all to join my group. DM me, get as close as you want to. I'm available and ready to help with the principles of manifesting. And, together we rise. So that's what we're here for.
Awesome. So awesome. And I'll leave the information too in the comments as well, because yes, we need to keep everyone connected. So thank you so much. And quick call to action. If you have not jumped into the masterclass yet, let's go. It's the place to be. So
what date is it?
It starts on Monday. So like to the audience, it starts on Monday. It's 3 coaching sessions, and they're private on Zoom. This is not a live workshop or, webinar or anything like that. This is actual coaching. So, and it's only $47.
$47. So you don't have to tell the world that, you're not getting in front of the big audience, and you're going to be in a safe space with Amanda. And if you show up and ask why, you're going to be the one to get your questions answered and get this money problem solved as soon as next week.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't miss out.
Yeah,
that's the best $47 you ever spent. Just do it. Grab the link below. Do it now.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. Well, thank you so much. I do appreciate you showing up here with me today, and just
I'm in love, man.
Yeah, you're the best. You're the best. So I will talk to you really soon, and to the audience, I'll see you on the flip side. See you later.
Thanks for